it's the F Nerd Show, and today I am going to talk about The Leftovers. Yes, the reason I am talking about The Leftovers is because it is October 14th, the day of the sudden departure, and I love this show more than a lot of things in this world, I swear to goodness. The Leftovers came for me at a time where I definitely needed it. I got into college, I was very lonely, very depressed, very spiritually lost in a lot of different ways. And The Leftovers filled that void for me in a big, large way. And also, over the years, it's just evolved for me in a way. It's like I can, every time I watch it, I come off with something new, something different, some different interpretation, some different sort of thing. Alright, so if you didn't know what The Leftovers is a show by Damon Lindelof and Tom Perrotta. Tom Perrotta wrote the book. There was a book of The Leftovers. And then Damon Lindelof, he show ran Lost, and then he got an HBO show, and he show ran The Leftovers. It is about a world where 2% of the population on the planet just randomly disappears in a very Rapture-esque type way. Except it's not the Rapture, because some people were not saints at all. Some people were just, like Gary Busey disappeared. And people were like, wait, what do you mean Gary Busey? And, all that sort of stuff. It's very much a Rapture with no distinguishable point. And so that makes people who are very religious sort of lose their minds a little bit. It makes everybody lose their minds a little bit. What I love about the show, it's called The Leftovers. And it's just people who are left over, And it feels like that. It feels like, so, we were the undesirables. We weren't good for dinner night or whatever. I read the book. The book is based on, the first season is based on the book of this show that lasts 3 seasons. Only the first season is based on the book, and then it goes effing off the rails in the best of ways. But the book, there's so many times in the book when any character would just casually be carrying leftover food, and it's like, oh, I get it. The Leftovers, yeah, all right. Show follows a guy named Kevin, played by Justin Theroux. He is a police chief in the first season, and he is sort of losing his mind trying to wrangle together this town that is going nuts during the 3rd year anniversary of the sudden departure. And that's all I can say about that, really. The first season, some people didn't like. Some people were like, oh, this show's too depressing and too weird. And also, I do think it, structurally, the first season is the most different from the rest of the show. Because it is, it still has some of that network TV feel. Even though it's an HBO show, Damon Lindelof worked on network TV for a very long time. So it sort of, has episodes that kind of feel networky in a way, but it sort of finds its stride because on the 3rd episode of the first season, that's what it does, a perspective focus on one of the characters named Matt Jameson, who is a preacher who basically yells at people all day, every day with flyers talking about how it couldn't have been the Rapture because all these bad people disappeared, and that, that must mean something else. He has to prove that wasn't the Rapture that he and so many other people with his religion are waiting for. And that episode really sort of unlocks the show in a way, because it, what makes the show the most special are these little episodes where you follow one character's point of view, and you really sort of get to not just the world building around that character, but also you get to understand deeper about why that character feels a certain way. So in the first season, Matt Jameson gets an episode. Nora Durst, who is also one of the main, she's the main lady in the show. She lost her entire family, her family of 4, her husband and her 2 kids disappeared, but she was left alone. And they deal with how she must be feeling about that. And there's more things to the show I just don't want to spoil because I think you should be watching it. Yes. The first season did okay. It did like it's. I think it started out with better views, like better like viewer ratings, but like I said, people found it a little depressing, and they're like, "What is this show?" And I think by the end, people were dwindling, which is fine, I guess. It was, and then so I watched the first season, and when I got onto the show, there was only the first season. The second season started shortly after I finished the first season, but I hadn't known that until I finished it. And I was like, "When's the second season coming out?" And I saw there were ads for the second season. And also, fun little tidbit if you want some information. You know how we have Max now, like HBO Max, now Max? Back then, they were just starting HBO, like, now, I think, or something like that. Like, really first starting the HBO streaming service, and back then it only worked good on Apple devices. So I had a laptop, but wasn't an Apple laptop, and I literally paid for HBO Now when it like first started, but it would not play on my laptop. I would have to watch anything on my phone, and that's the only way it would work. That sucked, but that's how I saw season 2. Was that way. Season 2 is effing amazing. Season 2 really changes everything. So, like I said, so the first season, it explores about, all right, so this is the world. This is 2% of the world's population disappears. Season 2 is about the main family you follow, the Garveys. They go down to Texas, to this place called Miracle. And it's called Miracle because in this town of Jordan, nobody disappeared. Not a single soul vanished from this one town, presumably all over the world. Or, like, there might be, like, other towns, but at least in the United States, this town, not a single person departed on the day of the sun departure. And so Kevin and his family, Kevin and Nora and their family, they decide to go and move to Jordan and try to live a normal, comfortable, safe life. That is until John Murphy, the town firefighter, the town lead firefighter guy, who turns out to be Kevin and Nora's neighbor, he starts to, push back against some of the thoughts and feelings of this town. He's like, this town ain't special. This town is not a miracle. There are no miracles in Miracle, he would always say. And really, it's a fun exploration. I think Season 2, everybody agrees that Season 2 is way better than Season 1. And I definitely agree with that also. I loved Season 1 so much, so I wasn't, like, big on the trash hype for Season 1. But when Season 2 came out, it, like, all the things that people had negative to say about Season 1, Season 2, in some ways, finally doubles down. But then, they actually do take some notes, and they do, like, every episode in Season 2 is a perspective episode. The way the world building happens is through that, and I think that's the best way, because I think the first 2 episodes of Season 1 are technically the worst episodes of the whole show, and technically that's a good thing. That's how it should be for any show, but just sort of the way they try to explain everything, all the world stuff in the first 2 episodes, while I don't think it's terrible, by condensing it down to each episode follows one character, you get to easily build that stuff around in a more organic way. But whatever. Anyway, Season 2 ended so epic. Oh my god. Like, I watched Season 2 week to week, and it was probably the most fun I ever had watching any show week to week, especially towards the back half, because something crazy happens in the second half of Season 2. And there was just a whole week where it's excruciatingly like, oh my god, did that just happen? Now I have to wait a whole week before I could see, like, the payoff of that. And then, I remember when I watched the finale of Leftover Season 2, I cried 5 different times throughout that entire episode. And I looked at the viewership ratings, and they were down as fudge. I was like, oh my god, is this show going to effing get canceled? And for a long time, we thought it would be. Like, there was like a solid month where we were like, is it even going to get a third season? And everybody kind of wanted, like, if it was going to get any more, please get one more season. And even, like, some people dressed up as Guilty Remnant members, which Guilty Remnant is the cult, the evil cult that runs in the Leftovers, that sort of, it's these people that are just like, we're already dead, so let's just not even pretend to be alive anymore. And people just sort of were smoking, wearing all white and smoking outside the HBO offices, like, renew the Leftovers, which I really loved. And then they did. They renewed the Leftovers for a season 3, third and final season. Back in the day when David Lindelof was talking about it early, I think he definitely had a good 4 seasons in him. But judging by the viewership for season 2, 1 season I was just glad to have at all, because seriously. What else do I want to say about this? So season 3 grows on me extra more every time I watch it. Like, I think at the time there were some nitpicks I had. For one, it's only 8 episodes instead of the first 2 seasons having 10 each. There are some characters that do get shortchanged a little bit, like the Murphys. You get a little less of some of the Murphys because they're trying to contain everything in the 8 episodes. But, so, like, if I would say season 2 of The Leftovers is the best season, season 3 of The Leftovers has the best episodes. And I honestly believe that. Even though season 2 has some great episodes, season 3, I'm like, man, every episode is pretty much a banger. And there's a character in the show named Lori, which anytime she had an episode, I wasn't the most sympathetic to her. But when I watched her episode in season 3, that's literally probably one of my more devastating episodes. Not only devastating, but that might be one of my favorites, if not absolute favorite, because of how much it took a character that I did not like and didn't totally understand and completely flipped it. To where I did sort of be like, oh, I understand where she's coming from, why she did what she did, and how she is managing to move forward at all right now. It's just so good. I've always wanted to make a video and put it out on October 14th to tell people they should watch Leftovers. And I think I might, if I think about it, every time I get a chance, if I want to make a video on the Leftovers on October 14th, not that I'm going to do it every year, because there's so many times where I wanted to and didn't, but I would, if I think about it. Like, if I think about it next year and it's around the time, I got the time, I think I might. Because I love this show. And I could say so many things about it, and there's just not a chance I'm going to do it all in one. So might as well have a designated time to do so. I just think it's a great show. It explores great ideas about belief, religion, spirituality, life, death, love, loss, and all these things. And really finds a way to explore them in ways that are fun, weird, dramatic, exciting, but also very real. Like, very real. And the score is so great by Max Richter. You can even find clips on YouTube where they just sort of utilize the Leftover score and put in the other stuff. One of my favorites is looking up, like, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with the Leftovers score. And it's a scene when Will Smith's dad is, like, basically skipping out on him. And then Will sort of goes on that speech, and he's like, why do you want me, man? Man, so sad. What else? It's a sad show, yes. Especially the first season. If you, like, first season, you definitely need to, like, be like, watch an episode or two, take a couple days. Watch an episode or two, take a couple days. The second season, I would just charge right through. And season 3, I don't know. You might want to savor it since it's the last season, to be honest with you. Because I rewatched this show right after I did my Breaking Bad video. but then I stopped in the last 2 episodes because I didn't want to finish it again. And then today is when I finally watched the last 2 episodes. Today is October 13th, by the way, the day that Megan's mother died. People who watch Leftovers get that reference. But, yes, watch The Leftovers. I love this show so much. I really wish I could just... I have so many more things I could say about it, but I don't want to ramble that long, and also I don't think anybody's going to listen that long. I think every year, if I can remember to do something on October 14th, maybe I'll do, like, a character or something. Like, just every year, just explore a different aspect of the show. That could be a fun thing to do. But this is just me telling you, go watch this show. It's on HBO or on Max probably. And you don't even have to pay them. You can find it other places. It's over. It's canceled. It doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about it, not being renewed for another season because it's over. You just go find it and just go watch it. You can. But yeah, thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. Goodbye.